confirmation banter. So if I'm live, let me know. Until then, I'm just going to enjoy coffee. It's not flicker there for a second. Cool. So Hawaii Beach is saying I'm live. It doesn't look live on my end, which is up. There we go. Nice. Cool. All right. So let me get my cheat sheet up and let's get this thing going. Um, Hey everybody, I'm Joshua. Today is May 7th, 2017, and today, like usual, I'm working on my video game Delver, which you can see behind my head here that way, is delvergame.com if you want to learn more about the project I'm working on. To give you a high-level view, it is a procedural dungeon crawler with fantasy, roguelike, and RPG elements, also some first-person shooter stuff thrown in there for a good mix. This video game is in early access. You can buy it on Steam for $7.99. You can also get it on Humble. Humble has a Steam key there too. The Steam key is the one we keep updated the most frequent. So that's probably, if you want to get the latest in developments, this is probably where you want to be. Delver is a project that is worked on by two people. I am one of them. Again, I'm Joshua. I do all the art. So that's 2D art, 3D art. I do level design. I do some programming. Again, we're a small team. We do this in our free time, so we have no budget, and we have to kind of wear a lot of hats to get stuff done. And that's what today is about. Today is about getting stuff done. So let me go ahead and just jump right into my usual. Let's just look at this past week in development and see what's going on. Let's go over here to my Delver repo. Let's not worry about that. Let me just pop open the GitHub app then. I've tried setting my GitHub credentials in the terminal, but it never seems to work. Oh well. Cool. There we go. So let's just make sure git status up to date. Up to date. Yes, up to date with Origin, which is good. Let's just go ahead and do. I have a little cheat sheet or a cheat code, or not cheat code. I was copying pasting this command here, which is a git log with --1 line since a week ago. There was some pretty formatting. And here we go. Cool. So it looks like the oldest thing is just me doing some of the work on the last stream, which is pretty cool. Yeah, for me, it's been a pretty slow week. I've been working on contract work, trying to get that stuff finished up. So Delver work has been again put to the side because you know, like I got to make ends meet. So contract work is what is paying the bills right now. So I moved the dungeon, the cave stuff into their own themes, added meshes, textures, and stuff like that. Trying to basically break out each theme to kind of be its own standalone thing. This started like a year or two ago, and we never really redid the old areas. So that's what this work is about. Oh, hey, chat. Sorry. I guess I shouldn't be ignoring you. Hey, Javier. Hey, Hawaii Beach. Hey, Dakota. Hey, Crowd21. Hey, Trickster. I think Hippie's in here. Tesla Coil is probably in here. Who else? Kontako K. Adaponkin. All you folks, hey, thank you for stopping by. I really look forward to Sundays and hanging out with you and working on Delver. Hey, Bluestone. Hey, Arxol. Bluestone says, ever thought about adding different backgrounds to the level loading screen? We have changed it a few times throughout Delver's lifetime, and you can do custom ones. I think Dakota is working on a mod called DMC, and they have a custom splash screen for that. I may change it for the final version of Delver, but right now I like the Ruins one. I think it looks pretty, but maybe after I finish up the new dungeon overhaul, maybe I'll have a nice uh, splash screen from there. And then I think Bluestone says, oh, no, okay, cool. Dungeons and Delving. Okay, cool. So D&D. You might want to be careful about that. Trickster says, any tips for centering animations? Yeah, that is a drawback of the engine, is that if the sprite has to be centered about the middle of the sprite. So otherwise, the sprite will wiggle. I've just had to do some creative animations where that just happens to work out. Unfortunately, it is just a drawback of how we've implemented the animation system. And I think if you watch one of the one of my streams from the archives back in the ruins when I was working on animating the torch. That might have been not the ruins update. That might have been the workshop update. Or I forget when I did the new torch, but I ran into that issue then. Bluestone says that brick background when entering a new stage. That I'm not sure of. I think that might just be hard coded. But I will make a note of that. Let me just real quick. Let me just pop open a Sublime text window, and let's just do this. So, support for custom load screen background. There you go. Okay, so it looks like, oh yeah, so Chad's been doing some really cool stuff with warping. So it's kind of like the teleports we already had in the game, but a little bit different. So you can kind of do portal style effects with it. So I think this is all just the test level, more teleport tricks. Warps can decide not to unload the parent levels for interior. So I guess this is kind of also riffing off the idea of doing the areas like last stream where I showed you can have like areas within areas. And just some more refactoring around that. So I can preview that real quick. Hawaii Beach, my voice is low. I can pull it up a little bit. Just a touch. There we go. Let me see. Let's minimize that. Let's minimize that, and let's launch Delve Edit. Actually, let me play a little bit of Delver, just in case folks don't really know what it is. I can play a little bit of that to give you a better idea. I'm just worried about my microphone trying to pick up. I'll pull it up a little bit higher, but that's about the highest I want to go. Dead. Yes, like I said, it's a procedural dungeon crawler. You start outside the dungeon. This is the camp. Basically, it serves as a shop, as a tutorial area. You can buy stuff here. Your gold persists between runs, so if you have enough gold, you can buy stuff. You start with 40 gold, so not a lot, but I can buy arrows. And we still have this arrow bug. Let me make a note of that. I think it's this way. Ah, I didn't mean to quit. Okay, play. Arrows only don't stack in the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper thing, I think basically how it's implemented is we just check to see the first available spot in your inventory, and we put the yeah, they do. They just stacked. to the stack. Still working. Let me spawn some arrows. Let me pick them up. Went into the stack. So they actually do. Yeah, arrows stick into walls. Yep, that was something actually I implemented because our range stuff was not great. I did a big overhaul a few updates ago where I made the bow a much better thing to play with. Correct, Quiet Beach. Again, it says the store's arrows because the way we do it when you buy something from a store, we look to see if you have an empty slot in your inventory. And if you do, that's where the thing you buy goes. If you don't have an empty slot in your inventory, we drop it on the ground. Cool. So I guess since I have a bow now, I might as well play with the bow character. So yeah, this is descending into the dungeon. You enter here, it generates a first floor for you. The first floor always has this dungeon theme. Of course, there's kind of the tropey standard dungeon stuff, which is all good. Yep. Notes and go grab the potions, probably useful. The book is junk. Don't need that. Let's continue on. Oh, trap and a zombie. Let's see, one more. There we go. And when you kill the enemies, they drop their arrows, which you can recover, which is nice. Arrows do have a chance of breaking, so you have to be kind of careful about your arrow management when playing as an archer. But hopefully that adds a different, I guess, type of play to the game. Crap, and there's somebody right next to me. Okay, agility. There we go. So the short bow has the shortest range and the least amount of damage. So yeah, there's a broken arrow right here. But it also has the fastest attack rate, which can be useful depending upon what you're trying to do. So I have an excellent iron mace, so I'll probably play with this for a bit. Yeah, as to how fast the character can move, pretty darn fast. If you go all the way in on speed, it's pretty darn fast. You shouldn't clip through walls, but it's still pretty darn quick. And let me just, oh, nope, okay, so I'm looking for the next level down. And since it's procedurally generated, I'm not sure where that will be. And also, if you notice too, like here, the dungeon area, this was the first area we built, so you can see definitely through the cracks on how we're doing the generation, where it's just like a room hall, which I think is it's just bad level design. It's not great. Again, we do have limitations because of the way the engine works, but there are tricks we can do to kind of break that up. So hopefully I can employ more of those to make it feel less, I guess, artificial. Make it feel a little bit more natural. There's water there for some odd reason. So how the procedural generation works is some of these rooms are built by hand, by me or Chad, and some of these rooms are built by the computer. And the computer makes crazy stuff. But we kind of like that, so we just let it be. See if I can lure this guy back into this trap again. Yep, cool. AKA Tricksters, have you considered the implementation of pets? No, we've not considered the implementation of pets. We're trying to keep this a pretty lightweight game. I think the closest thing I've considered is maybe a status effect where the enemies would potentially attack each other. But that's about the closest to pets I've ever come. And, you know, obviously since the game doesn't have that, we haven't really put a lot of weight into it right now. So for those of you who don't know, we've been working on this game in our free time about 4 or 5 years now. And we are trying to get it finished. We're trying to get it into a good, stable spot where we're comfortable with it living. Right now, it is a fully playable game. Some of the in-game stuff probably needs a little tweaking as far as balance, but it is beatable. There are a few bugs here and there, but there shouldn't be any major ones around. There is kind of a level generation bug that hopefully I can address in this update. But we want to finish this game, and it's not. We want to keep it lightweight and tight. There's not a level down there either. Okay, map. Hawaii Beach, I answered the question twice now. It's hard-coded in player.java. So how it works is for the because AKA Trickster is asking. So most of that time is spent in engine development. So basically, Chad does the lion's share of the programming. He wrote the engine, all that good stuff, and I do the majority of the content development. So basically, all the art and all that good, basically everything you see in the game, I have touched. It's been a good separation. It allows the engine to still develop while content still gets added to the game. Again, I guess a side effect of that is because we built this area first. Like after making this thing for 4 years, I've gotten better at art and better at making the thing. So it is it is the worst looking area, which is why I want to improve it. There's not a level down there either, man. This is a long level. No Adobe, I don't want to. No, don't do that. Let's see. Nikolai L says, "Will you be using Delver's engine for future projects?" Maybe. You know, that's the whole thing. Is we went through the whole effort of like now that we've gone through the process of making an engine, and we know it very well. It would be nice. I mean, it would be a good like economic choice too. Yikes. Trap. There was. If you move quickly enough across traps, you can avoid them. I mean, as an economic choice, it would make sense to reuse the engine, right? But you know, like again, we've been working on this project 4 or 5 years, and it might be nice to have a break after this. I mean, I'd love to work with Chad again, but I don't know what the future holds. All right, come on, Stuck Door. There we go. Let's see if I can get this lined up right. Ah! Well, it's the thought that matters. Oh, and his shield. Excellent. Whoa! Oh my goodness, that's a crazy shield. Of course I want to use that. I mean, again, I think I can work within the engine to do interesting things. And also, the development cycle would probably be quite a bit shorter. I've seen this before. I wonder if this is an artifact of how we place torches. Let me investigate that. Yeah, this has been a long first level. Let me see. This is not an endless game. Again, we're trying to keep the gameplay fairly short and tight. So I believe there are 9 levels, and that is it. You can mod in new levels. Modder Bluestone there in chat has added a library level, which is pretty cool. And I believe it sandwiches itself somewhere between here and the caves, if I remember correctly. Again, we just this past update we released support for mods on Steam properly. through the Steam Workshop. We've always had support for mods for years and years, but it's always been kind of a like an ad hoc thing where you have to create a directory and track stuff to it. And now with Steam, it's a lot easier to just subscribe to stuff and play. Hawaii Beach, yes, that is correct. There should be a spot where if you look for torch color, I think that should get you where you're looking for. Hey AMC, Arcane Acorn says it looks cool. Thank you. That is very kind of you to say. I'm the art guy, so it is my job to make this look as beautiful as I can. Within the constraints. Like we don't have a lot of time to work on it, and we don't have any money to work on it. So I have to work quickly and efficiently. It is kind of my takeaway from this project. Zombie cheese. Let me see. Voom says, am I working on any other projects other than Delver? So I just finished up some contract work. I guess I can... it's for the game Strafe, which is coming out in a couple of days. I'm pretty excited about that. I have some content in there that's pretty cool. It's secret, so I can't really talk about it. But when people start finding it, maybe I'll show it off on stream. Let me see. So Hawaii, you found it? Yeah, Hawaii, I think the way to fix that would be to not override the torch color, and then maybe also have some light value on the player as a property, and just honor those from the player.dat. Actually, let me just make those changes right now since I'm talking about it. I think I'm on Dungeon 2, so this is just kind of repeats. You work your way down, and here is the mysterious shopkeeper. He sells you stuff. He gives you a chance to spend some of that gold you earned. Let me see. He gives you like a little lore dump, and then you can. I guess I can buy more arrows because I'm still super poor. I've gained 1 gold. Yikes. And then you go down, and then you hit the caves. And the caves are a different look and feel to the dungeons. I've tried to make them way more organic and natural. And this guy's going to pose a problem. I think I can get him. Let's get him with the mace. There we go. Here too, like design-wise for the caves, I've tried to in all the rooms I've built. You should be able to, for the most part, see from one torch to another, which will take you down the critical path. And then in the areas that are not on the critical path tend to have more loot and more monsters. But hopefully it helps keep the caves navigable. And because the caves actually have a very, very small number of rooms, I'd like to maybe increase that before we finally ship. Oh crap. And okay. Like you could have set me on fire, which would have been bad. Get a wand. This is a greater ice wand, which shoots quite a few particles. And also, you notice now he was emitting snowflakes, which means his movement is slowed. Cool. And then you keep going down. You have the caves. You have a second interstitial area. Into the sewers. Again, it has a different look and feel than the rest of the game. Again, trying to add just good contrasts. And then you get to the ruins. I'm not sure if I want an interstitial area between the sewers and the ruins. Maybe. We've done it for all the others. I think there should be always there's always a lantern over here, and there's also another piece of loot. 10 to 16. Yeah, that's way better than what I got now. So this is the final area of the game. The ruins. Except for this is way slower. I'm not sure if I like that. Okay, you can go run off. Here I've also tried to add bits that interconnect more. I think I like that mace better. I think it's actually faster. Or not? Maybe I think the enemies here might be a touch faster. So, and I poisoned myself. Great. I have cheese. Poison won't kill you, but it will reduce your health to 0. Let me see. Yeah, I think this might. So I've tried to add little areas here that connect out to other areas. This it may or may not like. And skeleton mage got me. Yeah, Hawaii Beach. I'll do it real quick. Um, so you're an update player light. Yeah, so Tesla Coil says he on his ice staff knows the serious rain drop when it occurs a large number of particles and dynamic lights will probably um, bog down your system. Because we have a limited number of dynamic lights we support, so we have to start like sorting and turning off the ones that are far away from you, if that makes sense. Let me see. So torch color, we set the torch color, but I don't know why we do this because torch color is a play property. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. I think light has. Is a dynamic light? Get light. It has a position, color, pause, and range. So yeah, I can just. I'll just add those quickly as properties. So we don't want to do that. Okay. And real quick, let's just say this is torch color. And then let's just add a new property to the player called public float torch range equals. Oh man, what is the default for this? Okay, let's jump there. I think it is probably so the default for that range is 3. Let me just go back up to the top. Okay. Torch range equals 3F. Okay. And then I need to go back to update player light. Okay. And so down here, light.color.set, torch, light.position.set, and then light.range. I think it's actually these are using set because they're vectors. Yep, versus that's just a float, so I can just set it equals torch. This dot torch range. Okay. No errors, and I have a mod to test this out already. So torch color, let's make this, should be pure red, and torch range is say 6.0 because it's extra long, and play. It looks like I have dropped a few frames. Interesting. Let's erase and play. So the net effect of these changes should be I have a bright red light that is like super bright. Yeah. Yep, it works. Yeah, it's kind of grody, but it does work. What I think would be better is to maybe make it white. Um, Yeah, no, I'm very fortunate to have been able to work with the Strafe team creating some stuff. They work. What's with this? Hello. Okay, let me make a note of that. Look at our at arches. So yeah, so now I have a blindingly bright player light. Uh, you know, if you notice, things look different because the actual torches are tinted um, yellow. So when things are actually white, they look a little odd. Cool. So let me see. That should be good. Let's review my changes. Uh, not part of, so let's uncheck this because that's not part of that. These dungeon textures are not part of this change either. It's just the player.dat. Added a new property. Added a new line here. Did I mean to add a new line there? Whatever. Torch set color. We can just remove that because we set that in the player.dat now. So let's just clean that up. Come on, GitHub update. And yeah, just setting the light range on this torch. Is there a tabs versus spaces thing going on? Let me real quick. Unless anybody knows how to IntelliJ show. Unless anybody knows how to make IntelliJ show white space off the top of their head. Okay, so file, edit, settings, white space. Active editor, wait, nope, editor, general appearance, show white space, yep, apply, okay. Yeah, so these are, okay, so why, let me configure this real quick, settings, tabs, I don't want to use tabs, I don't want to use tab character, and I'm not using a tab character, so why is it putting in tabs? Let me see. You can do custom gold. Custom stats don't really make sense because those are actually like engine things, and um, there'll be no way for you to implement what they do. So settings, edit tabs. I don't want to use tabs. I shouldn't be using tabs. Code style, Java. Use tab character. Don't use tab character. Apply. That's the way it was. Why is it? I don't know what's going on. Hey, Mazonix, how are you? IntelliJ, no tabs. Spaces instead of tabs. How do I do this? Again, people are pointing me to the exact same spot that I thought I had correct. Java, use tab character. Don't use tab character. Use spaces. faces. This is exactly how I want it. Seriously, come on. Can I just do code? Reformat code, that's a lot. Completion, I just want to remove, Yeah, I have no idea why IntelliJ is misbehaving. Um, oh well, let me just review my changes. Yeah, let's just, yeah, this light outrange is the thing I was wanting to fix actually. Yeah. Save. Cool, so support for custom player torch. Commit, sync. There you go, Hawaii. Okay. So textures, so like maybe I'll get back to doing this stuff. So this was me working on the new textures for the new area. Yeah, correct, Dakota. You won't be able to use this code until it actually gets released, which is probably going to be some time later. There might be somebody at the door. My dogs are barking. Let me go see what that's all about. Okay, so I guess false alarm. My dogs were apparently worried about something, but there's nobody there. Okay. Yeah, usually my dogs only bark when there's actually somebody at the door, but also I guess they bark at the kids who play in the alley out back. Let me see. Dakota, the beta branch, typically we update that about a week or two before we want to release the next update. Okay, so let's look at, let me see, assets, maybe. Textures, dungeon is what I was working on, this new dungeon texture sheet. Let me close my timeline because we don't need animations for this. And then if we also look at, let me close that. Let's look at Delve Edit, and I have a little room that I'm kind of using as a sample space to kind of get a feel for what things are looking like. file, open, levels, test. Oh yeah, let me show you off the warp stuff Chad was working on, because that's really cool. So this kind of adds some more like warp capabilities to Delver. So kind of the one you've seen already is like you can do these things where like Russian nesting dolls, you can go to new areas. So I can enter a new copy of the warp test, and I can enter a new copy within that, and then I can turn around and I can leave that copy, and then I can leave this copy, and then this should be the initial instance of the warp test. You can do cool stuff like you can fall, but now we're back to where we began because there's that potion again. So we're doing some interesting kind of just basic trickery stuff. Like here, you can just kind of walk through, and you know, it's like a little thing. I was trying to do some stuff here. Let me show you. I was playing around with like it's kind of like Stanley Parable-esque stuff. So you can do something like let's do this. Let me place a torch, and what I want to do is, so let me grab, this is a, not particle emitter, I want to grab the teleport area. I need to make a new icon for this. I've created a task, an issue, or a feature request on the repo to actually make more icons for some of the stuff we have nowadays, because there are a few more entities now that don't have icons, so I should just I have a batch going so I can just do a bunch of them at once. So this is the teleport area, and I think it teleports to here. Oh no, this is the marker, B. So let's just do this. So actually I need to swap these. So what I need to do is position this one right here, and position one the exact same spot here in front of this torch. And then I'll call this warp to marker loop. And this is marker, where's the ID? Loop. So now I can do something like this. And this should work. So I turn and go, and then I turn and I go. And actually, let me turn off the. I think there's a you can disable. It's disable the effect, and I think also if I turn off preserve offset too, I think it's even it could even be less noticeable. So let's see. Oh yeah, I need to have preserve offset on. Yes. Because of all the gen info stuff we have placed, like you get a little bit of popping in of the stuff that just isn't there, but you do get these kind of cool effects where like you're going down this this endless hallway, and boop, I'm back out, which is cool. It can be fun. For example, if you ever played the game Duke Nukem 3D, sometimes they simulated room over room stuff using this effect. So like here, if you notice, there's nothing below this. But when I'm in play mode, I can drop down, and it drops me back over here. So we have so this warp marker. There's no effect on it, and it warps you to here, and it drops you back into this area. So it feels like you're doing room over room stuff. Now, of course, the map will tell on you, but it still allows you to have some interesting feeling areas if you want to do this. I think this was just like because we were doing like little offshoot areas anyways. I think this was just a pretty natural thing to add to it. And yeah, if I go back here, I can go to my crazy endless corridor again. Again, because of the stuff on the ceiling and floor, you can see the pop. But maybe if I can texture it maybe so it's not using a. Let me try using a texture that doesn't actually have anything defined for it. maybe this old ruin stuff. Maybe that doesn't have anything. So upper wall, that. Floor, that. Ceiling, that. And let's just see if this makes it a little bit more convincing of trickery. Because now, yeah, now there's not anything on the floor or ceiling, so it should be, yeah. Yeah. I think the effect is way more convincing. Granted, you have this stuff set up. Now you can manually place the. I'm so turned around now too. I don't even know. There we go. You could manually place the sprites to kind of make it look good, but um, yeah. If I go backwards, yeah, that might. Well, I mean, I think I've designed the hallway such that it should work. Let me see. So this way, and then this way, and then this way. Oh yeah, you're right. It does break the illusion. You have to design it just a little bit differently, so you couldn't see that popping effect. Um, like I could, I guess I could in theory like do something like this, and then just move this uh, here, and then this one here. And that should have the same kind of effect. Yeah. In which case, yeah. So if I go through it backwards, you don't see the popping because just I've occluded the view. So when it does do the pop, you just don't see it. So I should be able to just go this way now. I should be able to get on out. Woo! Yeah, so maybe folks could find something useful for this. I might do a little bit of stuff with this, just kind of maybe adding some like little interior like secret areas and stuff. Um, uh, yeah, the fall is definitely fake. It's not a real like it's just trickery. Yeah, so it is pretty cool. These are some cool features that were pretty cheap to implement, so we went ahead and did it. But I'm getting off track. Let's go ahead and look at. I think I created a new dungeon theme. So this is the thing I'm worried about, is trying to make some new dungeon tiles for folks to use that also spice up the dungeon area quite a bit. I think I'm also still using. Let me just get rid of this mod that I don't need anymore. So delete. Yep. And play. That should fix my player light. Oh yeah, you could totally make a Lost Woods kind of thing. That's cool. That's a good idea. It might take a little bit of work to make sure everything lines up nicely, but I think it would be cool. Test. There is no counters on the teleport. We don't really have much of a state with our triggers and anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, so dialing back to the player's light radius, things look. This is how things will actually look in game. So also still need to figure out the floor and ceiling situation. This new floor isn't so bad. It's slowly growing on me. This old ceiling is still kind of gross. I need to figure out what to do with it. So Krogan, or if I wanted to do that in Delver, what I would do is I would just duplicate those areas. So I would have 3 areas that you teleport to, and say the 4th one actually has the thing you need to go to. Yeah, if that makes sense. Okay, so cool. Got. Let me think. So I've been working on this stuff. So I try to, again, for those of you who've been around, so I tried to design it so this top row, it can tile in multiple directions. So let me pop in a new layer, go to my brush tool. Let's get some red. I like red. So this top layer here can tile both in the X, and you can also tile Oh, sorry, got that backwards. Ignore me. I don't know why I goofed that. It's pretty basic stuff. Also, let's go to pencil mode on this guy. Make sure my transfer is turned off. Okay, cool. So yeah, so y at x. And this isn't a hard and fast thing. This is just I try to make sure that these tiles here um, just behave this way. So it's just a nice little helpful thing for me. And then this row of tiles here, um, they only really ever work in the X. If you tile them in the Y, you can see they're repeating and it won't work super well. I've done a similar thing. If you look at the texture sheet for blech. Sorry about that. Nope. Assets. Here we go. Textures, ruin temple. Yeah, if you look at the ruins textures, I've done a very similar thing here too, where XY tile, trim, floor, ceiling, and then I have some rock stuff. So I'm trying to just create another little set to help me kind of I don't know, just have a decent set of textures to work with. Okay, so I have a couple of these I want to add more stuff to because like I think I was not feeling this last stream, but I think you folks are right. I think it does add a good amount of depth having that empty space there, and I think it's grown on me. I'm going to keep it, and maybe I don't know, maybe like a big plate or something that could be cool. Yeah, unfortunately, Nikolai, it's just one of those things that like Photoshop just keeps like a memory of the last things I've been working on. So unfortunately, when I opened it up, it just pops in there. Yeah, hey, welcome to the Delver game development stream. I guess it's been about an hour. So hey, I'm Joshua. I'm working on a game called Delver. You can find Delver at delvergame.com. I can pull it over here real quick. It's a procedural dungeon crawler with fantasy roguelike first-person shooter elements in it. We're on early access on Steam for $7.99. I am the art guy. We're trying to get this game done. We work on it in our free time. We have no real resources to speak of to do it, and I am trying to make this thing as beautiful as I can, as quickly and as cheaply as I can. So making pixel art for levels right now because I like making pixel art. It makes my little heart happy. But I'm thinking what I want to do maybe is something like maybe make a new tile over here. Maybe it's like a giant metal plate. I don't know. Let's see. Did I get that lined up right? Yeah, I did. So just play around with some forms and see if I can get anything I like. I may not. That's part of the process of creating this stuff is just trying to play with ideas until we find something that I think is cool and fits. Please add a heart-shaped rock. um, that's an interesting request. Let's do something. I'm trying to think how I would do this. Because if it's the whole if I make it the whole tile, it just looks off. I want to have a little bit. So maybe make it like these are 32 by 32, so maybe like a 24 by 24 thing. What would that look like? So I just drop that shape in there and then just kind of just nudge it around. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where if it just slipped smack dab in the middle, that's where it would be. I don't know, maybe it's okay if it's taller than it is wide. So I can maybe just push this up here and then just make a copy of that, drop it down, merge it, and then just do a quick and dirty little highlight around the inside here. Yup. And let's just do, go to my paint bucket tool, fill that in with that gray. Okay. Real quick, let's just make a selection here. And then let's go to my paintbrush tool and have a tool preset called 50% dither brush. And I can just select this color here, and then I can just paint in dither, which is handy. just to get this done quick. There we go. Just add another rogue dither here on the bottom. Come on. There we go. Sometimes the brush behaves a little strangely. Let's go back to the no dither brush. Okay. Let me real quick just get this brighter color and call out the corners. Maybe just a little bit of variety. Just kind of working fast and loose. Then go to this really highlights. I think I have these kind of just constrained to these top corners up here. Let me see. Cool. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Take care, Dakota. See you around. Manic Vandals needs to be one up. I don't know. I like pixel art simply because like I can work fairly fast in it, and I enjoy the aesthetic. For the Secret Strafe stuff I did, it's kind of like not pixel art, but it has pixel art like what is the word? It has pixel art like considerations. If that makes any sense at all. What if I made a second plate? Ooh. What if I made a second plate that doesn't suck? Maybe make it bigger, like this. Again, pixel art is a style that I'm comfortable with, and I work relatively fast in. And again, like when you're trying to like get a thing done, like be like a good production artist, it's nice just to have a fast way to work. I guess for me, like my road on being an artist is learning to not be precious with things and just get stuff done. Let me go back to let's make a selection here. Then go back to my brush, go back to my 50% dither brush, and then just see if I can just quickly just crank this out. I'm not sure why it doesn't seem to grab all the yeah, Photoshop is behaving strangely. Yeah, it should just be a texture brush, no crazy like size or anything going on there. Okay, let's go back to no dither brush. Yeah, so I kind of have a process Mank Vandal. A lot of times what I'll do is like a quick and dirty version. Let me just select this stuff here. Like let's say if I wanted to recolor these blocks. There's a couple ways I could go about it. Sometimes it's easier just to just pull the set all the way down to work in grayscale. Now this way you can make sure that your contrast is good. From there, I will typically click the colorize button and I'll throw some color on it. And then I know like I want to have some hue shifting. So I just grab, say, let's turn my tolerance down to 0, no anti-alias because I'm doing pixel art. So I want to grab just say this color here. I'm going to hide the marching ants, but they're still selected. And then let's just move the hue off a little bit. So, ooh, that's looking good, right? That kind of purpley color. And then up here on this lighter stuff, maybe I will hue shift it the other direction towards the yellow. And then that's just shifting the hue. I can also shift the sat as well. So I can maybe make this more desaturated. And again, it's just like when I'm doing these things, I'm thinking about like if I was just to let me try it. How do I explain it? Like where is it? HSBRG. I'm trying to have like an interesting curve through the color space. That's just simply not just like light, dark. But I also want to have it from light to dark also shift up and down in the hue spectrum as well. If that uh, if that makes sense. There are hammers in Delver. Yeah, so they're like for Delver, like I keep a like I maintain a palette myself, just through just adding constraint to myself. Typically, most art in Delver is no more than 12 colors, maybe. Typically, like this is probably six. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I typically work like in the 4 to 8 range is where I feel the most comfortable, but like yeah, it's still just straight up. There's no index colors going on. There's no palettes. It's just RGB color. So hopefully that gives you an idea, Make Vandal, how I would go about just colorizing stuff. And it is just a lot of taste and feel. Ba, 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 ba. See, look, this is interesting, but also it feels weird because there's no, it's just a big plate, right? Let me just, real quick, let's just copy that and paste it. Just drop these in the corners real quick and see how that feels. I'm not sure I'm really feeling it as much, but let's merge it down, save it, and then I should be able just to hot load this. So hit play. Occasionally I get those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a big patch of gray, which isn't. It's okay. Um, and it doesn't really make sense per se. Yeah, I don't know because I want to have something to break up the trim a little bit. Um, I guess in the ruins example, I certainly have a version of the trim that's just broken, which I guess works, right? Let me try that out. Yeah, I think I might just add it. Maybe add like I have a normal version, like a damaged version, and maybe just like a really messed up version. Yeah, or like pillars are cool. Like as long as I'd have to add a pillar up here as well. If I'm following what Tesla Coil is saying. So like something like let me see. Just scoot this over here. There we go. Maybe grab this large brick version. And basically I would want something like something like this maybe. Um, let me see what this. I'll just play around and see what this is like. So okay. Um, let me fix this. It might have been too bright, but whatever. Actually, it might even be. Yeah, yeah. I think I did. I think I'm okay. So Something like that. Just calling out the edges, just to add some three-dimensionality to it. I know it's not super accurate, but again, just trying to give the impression of form is, I think, more important than the actual like physical reality sometimes. Just adding in these little bits of dither, just add a little bit of texture to that. Go back to the no dither brush. I wish it didn't change my size on me, but that's okay. That's all fixed up a little bit. I'll just extend this out real quick and fix the dither real quick manually. Move that. There we go. Same thing on this side. Okay. I think there's a little bit of lean when you strafe. Let me see. You also add back the plants with a decal. Again, I don't want to do plants with a decal necessarily because the lighting on decals is weird. This is just kind of going through a thought experiment. I may just actually, I could also just add another set of, I could have just more repeats and trims for this. I'm just kind of following this idea to see where it goes and if it has legs to it, you know. I'm also going to maybe just do something like this. So I'm really gonna call this out as being like a separate piece of geo. Like this, I'm gonna try to make this feel more 3D than it really is. So again, let's just add in the dither here all the way. Okay, keep that low lit. Again, I may or may not keep this, but I have to just be, I guess, like be willing to explore these ideas as you know they get suggested or as I have them. So real quick, let me just fill all this stuff in. Okay, I think that's looking okay there. Let me get, we'll miss this spot here. Actually, let me take these down to real dark. Okay, then just maybe do a little extra line here. Sell that, and then I think I want this to be the highlight there. Yeah, I want this to kind of read like being 3D without actually having any geo to support it. It's kind of my thinking on this. We'll see if it works off or not. Yeah, I'll show off the game here in just a little bit. I'm just trying to see if I like this. Let me get to a point where I can stop. Okay, there we are. And I'm thinking like similarly here, just have like the highlight running up here. Again, the whole thought is try to make this feel like this part is out further than the side pieces. And it may or may not work. Let me just merge this down. Let me save it. And let's just go back here and hit play. So I think unfortunately these would work best if they're actually like, let me select those. So the lower wall needs to be from the dungeon set, and it needs to be this lower thing here, and the upper wall also needs to be from there, but this version. And I'm trying to make it pop out like a column. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's quite reading. It kind of reads. I can push it further with. So let me just do. Let me actually undo. Let me select those. Control H. Let's go back to my dither brush and just real quickly just drop dither down the side here. And then maybe the same thing for this dark metal as well. Again, just trying to bring that value down so the 3D effect is more pronounced is what I'm trying to do. Whether or not I succeed, different story. So merge down, save. So when I play, it should refresh the textures. It's okay. Not super loving it, but it was definitely a thing to explore. Yeah, Rust could be cool too. I will probably play around with that. Let me just not worry about saving that. Let me also undo that. Undo, and then I'll just toss this because it's an experiment that didn't work out. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I have. Let's go to Blender. File open. Where is it? Documents, 3D models, Delver props, Delver props. Yes. Okay, and let me see. Okay, so these are all the props for the old dungeon area. Let's go to the sewer scene. Yeah, so in the sewer, I definitely have established like a rust color. So I could probably just lift this color to make some rusty parts because I think it makes sense. So nice. Yeah, so that's something I could definitely do. Cool. Yeah, let me play a little bit of Delver, and I'll talk about it. Okay, and play. Oh yeah, Bluestone, that's a great idea. Let me quit out and I'll play with some mods installed because that's fun. So you can go to Steam and Delver has a workshop, which is pretty cool. And actually, it looks like we have a new mod this week as well, which is exciting. So I'll go ahead and add, like Javier's weapon pack is pretty sweet. It adds 48 new weapons, which is a lot, which is probably more than I've ever intended to add to Delver, but he's done a good job with it, so I'll subscribe. So yep, so it's downloading. It's now in my, it should be installed into Delver. Let me see, let's add Chris's crossbow mod, because it adds a cool crossbow, so subscribe. The nice thing about mods is they all should work together if they're made correctly, which is cool. Let's see what else. Let's go to the next. Let's see all the items. Let's add. Let's add the Dark Souls rings. I want to see if Marius fixed this. There was an issue in there, so let me add the Dark Souls rings, which is cool. Let me add Bluestone spears. Let me subscribe to that. What else? Yeah, Test the Coil has some weapons plus. Let's throw that in. Well, why not? And there's also language translations as well. But I think I have enough stuff thrown in there right now. Let's just go ahead and give that a whirl and see what we have. Yeah, so Chad, the guy who is the lead developer on Delver, released a game called Boarding Party a few years back that was built on the Delver engine, and he did release it as a mod on Steam. It is a total conversion. It doesn't necessarily play well with other mods. Total conversions are kind of the exception. I think there's some work we need to sort out with those. Yeah. Cool. So this is again. This is the start area. You can buy stuff from this guy if you have gold, but when you start off, you don't have gold because you're just a starting adventurer, so you have 40. So I guess I'll buy some arrows because if I ever find a bow that's useful. Again, I need to fix this. It's bugging me. Enter dungeon. Cool. Oh, iron mace. So let's go ahead and do that. It does slightly more damage, but I like maces because they have a pretty high amount of knockback. Let's grab this candle. I'll put the candle in my left hand. Whoa! What's going on there? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So it looks like I introduced a bug. Okay. Yikes. Quit. Play. Yeah, this might have been with the torch changes I made. Yep. Let me erase that. So let's not add a torch. Yeah, I may have to end up either refactoring or reverting the changes I made earlier. You can break crates. They have a 25% drop chance, so that's kind of a lucky drop there. Ooh, got one of Bluestone's spears. I guess if I'd give feedback, Bluestone, I think you should thicken up the shaft of the spear just a little bit. But otherwise, I do like your spear mod. It's nice that they have good reach, and they're not overpowered where they have a good balance of speed. Because with mods potentially you could make game breaking stuff, but people have done a pretty good job of balancing stuff out. Ah! Ooh, and a ring. The Dragon Crest ring. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Yeah, and I also need to fix this mesh too. Let me add a note to that. Fix or replace. Since I'm redoing the dungeon area, rubble mesh. Because you can see through it, so I just need to. I probably should make a different rubble mesh that just like can be used like any orientation, and that way I don't have to worry so much about it, and I get more use out of it. Attack, why not?
Hey, over here.
Ah, bad guys. Can I? There we go. Oh! So potions, if you attack them or throw them, they become bombs, which can be useful. It's like, yeah, I should be able to go here. Sad. There we go. That's a trap. I want to avoid that. And here are the stairs down. Nice. And there's still something off with the... Because this should be attached to that. So there's something going on there. I guess the easy and probably the better performance, I could just remove these because they just add just a little bit of variety to that, but that's also just fine by itself. Let me see. A good mechanic would let the NPC impale themselves on it. Yeah, well, unfortunately, like the way our animation system works is, again, the spear only really does damage on a particular frame of the animation. So you can't just have it always do damage because then it would just be like this crazy event that like you just always hit and it would just incinerate people, which wouldn't work super well. Let me see. Hawaii Beach posted a picture. Yep, that rubble needs fixing. Or probably replacing. AKA Trickster says, how do I think a glaive attack should be? I'm not sure I know what a glaive is. It looks like a halberd. I assume you just use it like a long axe. I'm not sure. I'm not a weapons expert. you can have custom animations for the weapons. That is a thing you can do. It's not very straightforward. You have to kind of play with manually doing transforms, but a few folks have done it with good effect. Speed. Ah! There we go. Ooh, there we go. I think it's a great axe. What was this? Fleet Fine Iron Great Axe of the Tempest. Oh my goodness. So this is one of Javier's weapons, and also the enchantment system works with all the modding content. So this is why you got this crazy powerful axe, is because it just works. It just slots right in with the systems existing in Delver, which is pretty cool. Didn't mean to hit that. Let's eat an apple. Ooh, a Steel Falcon. Is it? And a Lucky Dagger. You're getting all kinds of good drops. I think it's one-handed versus two-handed. 9 to 13, 7 to 12, plus 5, so 12 to 17, plus 4 speed. I'll probably keep this one going. And a bow, composite bow. Composite bows have the same range as a short bow, do a little bit more damage, and they have the best knockback of any bow in the game. So again, I tried to create some good variety with the bows when I implemented them. They're not necessarily, again, one of my design philosophies in Delver is that the weapons shouldn't just get better. Like you shouldn't just have like sword and then like long sword just simply straight up better. Like I try to balance it out with the amount of damage, with the amount of speed, with the amount of knockback. There are some some switches I could flip to try to make them interesting. So some people only play with daggers because it is the fastest attack weapon, even though it does the least amount of damage and has the worst range. Because basically with certain character builds you can hit stun enemies if you're lucky. Yeah, with this, I'm crushing guys. I got a Dawn. That's a unique weapon. Ooh, and one of Chris's crossbows. Let's bust this sucker out. I think I have arrows, right? I have 4 arrows. Okay. Yeah, the crossbow is like a crazy fast bow. I think it has an arrow in the water. I'll cover that arrow. I don't care about the Sword of Force, I just want my arrow back. Yeah, so you notice Chris's crossbow has a custom animation on it where the player holds it more flat than you would hold a bow, which is cool. Ooh, another Dragon Crest ring, and I broke my arrow. So +1, +1. Ah, missed. Get my arrow back. Get my arrow back. Cool. And that broke. Ring protection. Excellent iron spear. Yeah, so this is kind of a good overview of the game with some really sweet mod content made by the community. A lot of folks there in chat. So Javier says he has a custom animation for the halberds. Yeah, I'll spawn one real quick. There are no dual wielding mechanics. Basically, your primary hand is the one you attack with, and your offhand, the left hand, is just gives you passive boosts like shields and light and stuff like that. So let me spawn in one of Javier's, not ranged, melee. Somebody's adding some really high stuff. So just a heads up, these numbers correspond to the level at which they should drop. So um, I guess these would very unlikely drop, but I think Javier knows that. So yeah, his bone weapons are probably you probably only find them in the ruins, which is probably by design. Um, Let me see what group. Group 2, he says. Iron Halberd. Oh yeah, there we go. That's huge. Um, nice. Ah. That's a good animation. I really like the wind up animation on that. It's nice. The quick animation, yeah, as you'd expect, is just a little poke with the end of the halberd there. Cool, good work. Okay, nice. Cool. So maybe back to some more artwork. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks again. I appreciate everybody who's made mods for Delver. It's amazing and it's awesome the creativity you folks have. It just warms my heart to see all the stuff you guys make. And real quick, let me see what's going on with this update player light. Um, da, 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 this torch. And apologies if I didn't get to something you created. Unfortunately, the RNG just kind of throws items at me at random, and I try to call out when I see it. So if your weapon didn't get dropped, I don't think any of Tesla's stuff got dropped, unfortunately. Um, okay, so light duck color. So torch and player color set. Okay, that should be fine. Continue. Okay, well, this get called every frame? Maybe. Okay, let's just continue for the time being. Don't know why that's there. 9 layer. Let's go back here. A small tip: you can always just steal Jock's candle. It's always here if you want a candle to start with. Let me just grab this, and before things go crazy, let me see if I can put it. Player light. That should hit immediately. Yeah, let me just put it in real quick and see what's going on. Let me clear my watches. Let's add a watch to this. Add to watches, and then let's also add a watch on this. Okay, right, and then continue. Let's put the candle in our hand, which should blow things out. And let's add that breakpoint back in here with this update. So get held item. Primary held not null. Tick primary held, which should tick the candle. So this is the offhand item. Get offhand. It's a decoration. If offhand is not null and held is one. Yeah, so we're ticking the candle. So let's step into that. Let's step out of that. Tick equipped. This is a dynamic light. Instance of dynamic light. Ooh, interesting. So this is gotcha. So I think the correct fix is instead of back here, if I look at my last commit, I removed this torch color set. I think I just need to add this back in, but just set it back to the player torch color, and that should fix things. Color set, and I think I can just pass it. I think there's an overridden version that is just this dot torch color, and that should work. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Not now. How I maybe off stream, but I'm not going to update my software on stream. I already worry that I bore people to death with programming, so updating software is definitely like watching paint dry. I mean, I guess part of my stream is to show the realities of developer work, and not a lot. I mean, a lot of it is not very sexy. It's just work. Okay, so let's see if this fixes that. No, it does not. It still blows it out. Interesting. Sure, I mean, but I'm not streaming just for you, Hawaii. I'm trying to stream for the entire community. To be fair. So I try to balance my stream with a little bit of programming and a little bit of art. Quit. $30's not bad for a game developer stream. I don't think. Maybe it's awful. I don't know. I'm just grateful for anybody who shows up. Torch color. This torch color. Why is that? Because then we tick the dynamic light. Dynamic light always increments. It was in player. Let me step through this again. Item Java. Yeah. So intent. Player torch color. Light.work color. I'm just curious why this does not reset. Yeah, but to be fair, Minecraft has, you know, like millions of players, and I don't. It's kind of a, it's not exactly a apples to apples comparison. Yeah, when I first started streaming, yeah, there was nobody here. Yeah, streaming to the void was a weird feeling. So yeah, so the people who do show up, I do appreciate. Player torch color, but this should reset that. Yeah, let me debug this a little bit more, see what's going on. I shouldn't be laughing. What do you mean, Hawaii? Oh yeah, let's disable this breakpoint for the time being. Continue. Let's go in here. If it was, I didn't mean for it to be rude. If that was the way it came across, I'm very grateful for the folks who do support me. It's just I'm just laughing because it was a weird feeling when I first started streaming, and it would say like 0 to like 3 viewers, and I just knew that nobody was really watching, which is it's just weird. Like it's just weird in general talking while I work, and it's also really weird knowing that nobody's listening. If that makes sense. Okay. So torch color, it should be okay. Oh, is it okay? It seems kind of high. Torch color, copy value. I think I had the alpha in there. There we go. Some odd color. Yeah. So again, for folks of you know, for my little streaming tip I got from one of my buddies is I have a rubber ducky. Um, so the thought of this is there's a technique in programming called duck programming where when I'm working on a hard problem, I talk to the duck like, hey duck, I don't know why this light keeps doing the thing it's doing because it seems like it's always incrementing the light value, but it's not resetting where I think I am resetting it here in this first line of this method. So let's work on this, right? So I talk through the problem to the duck, and that helps me with my programming. But also for streaming, I put the duck right behind my camera, so I have a little face to look at when I'm talking to essentially nobody. Okay, step. So as a side effect, this torch color should um, I have to watch this. This torch color should get changed when I tick that. It did. Okay. Uh, yeah, because I think, yeah. Yeah, so TestaCoil is talking about duck typing, which is a term in programming called for dynamic typing. Like, for example, Python is dynamically typed, where basically if a thing behaves like a thing, it probably is a thing. So the whole saying is if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. That's why I call it duck typing. Let me see. So torch color. So the problem is this never gets so like torch color. Blah, 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 blah. So let's just do something real quickly. Let's do a private color original torch color equals this dot torch color. So this hopefully this still should preserve the behavior of letting us override. Then also maybe in the constructor. Let's look at the constructor. Public player. We have multiple constructors. Okay. This dot original torch color equals this dot torch color. I'm just trying to make sure that if you set a custom one, we preserve that. And then down here in update player light original torch color. So that should be it. Let's give that a shot. Yep, Cryo caught that issue. Yep, that is correct. Which is why I have separated out into two different variables. Because setting something equal to itself is basically a no-op. It doesn't really do much of anything. I mean, it could if there's side effecty stuff, but yeah, it's still blowing out though. Oh, I probably have to run it in debug mode. I think that was my issue. Okay. So this torch color is FFCC66, and original torch color is, that's set correctly. Add the watches. There we go. We uncheck that and continue. Let's go back to game. There we go. Let's grab this and let's put this in my hand. Let's observe what's going on here. So the original torch color got changed too. That is strange. Oh, Java. It's the same. It's the same object. It's a color object. So this dot original color. This original dot color. I think we need maybe dot set. There we go. There we go. We want to copy the values and not a pointer to the object is what we want to do. And then up here, original. Sorry, I work in Java. I'm not the best Java programmer, but equals new color, this dot color. Cool. Let's see if that fixes my issue. Oh sure, yeah. Debugging is definitely a part of programming and getting stuff done. If I ever do something perfectly right the very first time, I'm very skeptical, and basically I assume that there's still an error with it. It's just it's not failing in a noticeable way. Yep, there we go. There we go. Nice. Thanks, guys. We got this sorted out. So the world isn't broken. Ooh, there's lots of Dragon Crest rings. Let me quit. Nice. So let's commit those changes. Let's just review them and commit them real quick. So player.java. Yep. So just original torch color. It's a private property, which is fine. Original torch color. Yep. I think that should be good. Fixing issue with blown out torch light. Commit and sync. Cool. All right, so back to this art stuff. Yeah, so I need to figure out, like, maybe I'll just do like a broken version. So like with this, I just have like some rubble, and because I also have a rubble floor variant as well, which is useful in certain situations. Does it work now if you set the color to black? Well, let's test it out. I can do that real quick. So new directory, let's create a new mod called light test. In light test, I need to create a new full directory called data. And the data, I need to create a new full file called player.dat. Let's open up the other player.dat. Let's copy everything. Let's go to this new one. Player, there we go. And let's just do torch color. And it has 3 properties. So R is 0, G is 0, and B is 0. Save it and play it. I can't tell. It might still actually be showing light. It is lighting stuff up. Let me step into. Let's just debug this real quick and see what's going on. Torch color. That should get overwritten. Actually, it should, but let's see. Update layer light. I might need to actually set the player original light also when we first instantiate the player. No, I think the light model is additive and not multiplicative, so it should just add no light to the scene. I think you can flip on the option to have a negative light, but you have to set a special property in the light. I don't know if that's really all that helpful. Yeah, so let me see. Torch color is black. Original torch color. Yeah, so it didn't. Yeah, you're right. So let's grab this. So, because I think it's an issue with our serializer. Our serializer instantiates the object and then sets the properties on it. So let me just do this instead. No torch color. Let's do this. So this is a no. Let me find the next one. Get rid of that. And then let's just find torch color. And then let's just say the very first time we ever update this, if this dot original torch color is null, this dot original torch color dot set this dot torch color. Okay. Oh, hey, David. How are you? Thanks for popping by. So this should do it. Torch color, yeah. I will drop a breakpoint in just for fun. Actually, yeah, let's just check this out. Erase and play. Okay, so original torch color is null. Set. Oh, throwable. What's going on? Oh, you can't set something you haven't created, silly Joshua. So this torch color equals new color. There we go. Dope. Yep, you're exactly right. I don't know. I'm of two minds of it. Why? Like, if we wanted skippable intros, we just wouldn't put intros in, right? I mean, the intro is pretty darn quick, to be honest with you. There we go. Yep. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so the game is pretty darn dark without a player light being attached. It definitely gives you like a Thief, the Dark Project kind of feel to it, which is cool. I mean, it's definitely a different feel. Um, oh, old breakpoint. Cool, so that seems to have gotten things straightened out and it's simplified the code a bit, which is always nice. Yep, so basically what we do is we keep track of original torch color, and then the first time we update the player light, if it's not set, we create a new color to track it, and then that's it. Um, player torch can now be black, or can now be, yeah, black in color. Commit and sync. There we go. I just prefer to be explicit versus implicit. Typically, you see it like if I was writing something like public set foo, and it takes a int foo, and then you have this dot foo equals foo. This is the case where you need the this pointer, but when I write code, I tend to err on the side of being explicit on everything rather than being implicit. It's just so I've worked for both Lexmark and Microsoft, and that's just the preferred coding style, and I like it myself. I think it makes sense. I don't like people guessing. Let me see. And also, I come from a C++ background, and you need to use this pointer a lot. Again, it's just an explicit versus implicit thing. You could totally get away with not doing it. So art. Let's see if I can do some broken stuff. Actually, let me see if I can just lift this color shift it, and then throw the metal stuff on top and see if that works. Let's do that, and then paste it over here. Okay, let me just quickly copy and paste the colors. Why is it tolerance 0 simple? I'll turn that off, so just grab those, and there. The next one up is that, which should be the dark purple. The next one up from, let's do the mid color, I suppose. And then the highlight, I think is the same, and then the almost highlight there. I think this also needs to be that same dark purple, the way it's being used here. Okay, and then I have make sure I'm on the no dillar rush. I still have this color here I can play around with a bit. So let's do that. Just add a little bit of AA here and there to just to spice things up a bit. Okay, and then, so I have the rubble part-ish. Let me just copy this metal stuff. You can copy all layers in Photoshop by hitting Control-Shift-C. That will copy all the layers, and then you can paste a flattened version, which is helpful. Yeah, you can mod in all kinds of crazy stuff. Music and sound mods aren't really, we don't have very many of those. which would be cool to see more of. Okay. So real quick, I guess let me just let's not worry about. I was going to mask stuff off, but I can work destructively. That's all right. Yeah, sometimes working like a lot of things allow you to work in a non-destructive manner. I think sometimes that just um, I don't know. It kind of creates bad habits when you can always undo a lot of stuff. Maybe this should kind of um, like bend down, like it's been busted or something, you know. And then maybe also have the bend on this side, but it's not as extreme. Let's see. Cool. Thanks for the status update, Hawaii. Yeah, sometimes I get carried away and I forget how long I've been streaming. Um, so typically I stream on Sundays, and my kiddo, my son and my wife have swim class, so he gets to go splash around and learn good swimming habits while I work. So unfortunately, I've missed out on most of his swim classes, but I've been to a few. I'm just trying to think where this would catch light. Let me see. All textures are Nicolas Cage. Not sure what that means, but okay. Let me go back here. I need to fix up. You can see a little bit of this gold here, so let me just kind of just quickly address that. So we should have just like these rocky chunks that kind of just. I don't want to do more than I need to, so let me just try to figure out how much that actually is. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, and then let me just put a new layer in here and just do some basic shadowing just to kind of give it a little bit of depth, so you feel like this is actually overhanging um, this stuff a little bit. I think that's kind of okay. Let's just go back to our dither brush. Set the start color. Do that. Oh, don't want to do that. That. Here we go. Maybe add a little dither here. Go back to my no dither brush. Maybe remove. Let's add some more darkness here. Okay, that may work. Let me flatten this out and see what it looks like. Back to delve edit. Fire that up. Hey, Chad. How the heck are you, sir? Open levels. Test. New dungeon theme. Load. Okay. Oh, yeah, real quick, let me get rid of that. So let's go to mods, light test, and remove that. Delete. Yep. Because I don't want no player light. I want some player light. Okay, file open. Yeah, so for those of you just joining, I added support for the player to have a custom torch color. So if folks want to, they can make no torch, but that was something that we kind of worked through here on stream, which was cool. New dungeon theme, load. There we go. And play. And there we are. Yeah, I think that actually works okay. Yeah. And then maybe I could add some of these plates as decals. Yeah, I think that works out pretty cool. And I think it should be, yeah. I think the texture painter is set up to be rare enough that you don't see it very often. So you have occasionally you have this broken bit. This one brick here looks odd. So maybe I can fix that. Maybe I can fix the edges to actually kind of look more appropriate. But I think we're heading in a good path. Thank you kindly, Chad. I appreciate that. So what I want to do here maybe is just do like a 45 down. Just to, so basically what I want to simulate like this brick has been broken away. So do something like this, and this. There we go. That shouldn't be that dark. Yeah, so I think if I add broken plates as something that the thing can drop on the ground, I think that would be cool. I guess technically with the new way we can do some of these new interior spaces, we technically could have secrets like that. I'm thinking it might be cool to have like a shopkeeper that you can kind of like go into like a little door and like have a shop somewhere in the middle of the dungeon. Weapons do break in Delver. We've tweaked the durability quite a bit. So like different types of weapons have different durabilities, and they should last longer in general. Javier says that won't tile horizontally. Oh, that's a good point. Actually, yeah. It will. I'm going to do the other side as well. So I think what I'm going to do is make this look like it's just a brick with a broken corner. And then maybe I'll have a full brick on this side. So like I can just simply do this, right? I can just Control Shift C, Control V, and then I can just slide this over to the other side. So that way it will tile okay. And we only have the broken thing on the one side. There we go. Yep. Okay, let's erase that. Okay. Yeah, that's looking all right. Let me just put a little dither here for good measure. Okay. All right, let me flatten and save, and let's just and when you hit play, this should just hot load into Delver. There we go. Yeah, so I think that works out okay now. So we have this broken spot here, but the kind of these bricks still line up okay. And it is a rarer. I think there's like a 10% chance of it being used. Yeah, so I think playing with the texture painter, you can get some really interesting results with not a lot of textures. So I'm just trying to be good about that. Cool. So yeah, so this definitely also sells the fact that it is metal with these bent parts here. It's kind of like just a happy accident that the torch happened to be right there in the middle too. There we go. Yep. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nice. I think it works. The vertical stuff is kind of okay. It's not the greatest tiling, but I think it works. Yeah, I think again just adding as much variety as we can. Okay, this is cool. Real quick, let me. I've been going for over 2 hours. Let me just check in real quick. because it is a really lovely day. Like finally up here in Seattle, the weather has changed. Um, Changed for the better. Like the we still get rain, but we also get sunlight now too, which is pretty exciting for us. We're all about getting outside now. Um, Krogan says the outline of the stone isn't right. And you made the plate on top, but the other tiles, the plate is in the back and behind. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me just fix that real quick. So I think you're meaning, yes. It's very subtle, but you have a good eye. Boop. There we are. Yeah, because these, so it's kind of implied that like there's different layers with the value there. So these bottom bricks should be a little further out than this metal band here, but probably at the same level as these top metal plates. Cool. So this is starting to shape up all right. Again, it's nice to see this is just one texture for the top and one texture for the bottom, and it's really nice letting the texture painter do a lot of the heavy lifting to get good variety. Actually, Tesla Coil keeps. Let me see. Cool. It's raining. It's sunny in Sweden and raining in Germany, and it's sunny in Seattle. Cool. So yeah, it's just nice to get all this variety from a texture painter. What to do next? 'Cause I'm pretty happy with these so far. Like I might be okay with just with where this is at for the time being. I'm not sure if I want to add. So I'm thinking too. I have some wood stuff here, but if you folks also notice, I also have. We've had this room set for a while, and I haven't really done much with it. Some folks have found it and used it, and I might just leave this as its own theme, and then maybe not have these wood textures live here, but maybe live in the room theme. Just something to think about. Um, cool. So I think this color works okay for the floor. I'm just, for some reason, I'm just like, I think, I don't know. I like the ceiling being darker, to be honest. I think it adds a nice, because if I made the ceiling like the same color as the floor, I worry about, um, just the contrasty. I think a darker ceiling sells being underground better. So I think this would be too bright. Yeah. So maybe a dark version. Maybe they can do something with the metal plates. Yeah, let's just play around and see what we can come up with. Do note that Control Z does work in Delve Edit, which is nice. Sometimes I forget that. Cool. So ceiling textures. How to do it? Like I could, I mean, the simple one to do is just basically to lift this, right? I can plop it over here in the ceiling slot, flatten that down, save it. Then over here when I hit play, we get that, which is, it's not super great. I could add the metal trim to that. That would be a thing to do. Yeah, let's try that. So let's just grab this. Make sure I get enough of it. And then maybe something like that. Okay. Go to my dither brush. Just see if I can just plop down some dither. There we go. Kind of works, kind of doesn't. Let's just fix it. And just back to my no dither brush. Just touch it up down here. I think it's off up here as well. Okay. Okay. I kind of want to have a, let me see. Like I can grab this and then I can just move this whole chunk down. And then that will, oh, come on. Why do you want to save it as something different now? Oh, Photoshop, why are you being difficult? Textures, y'all. Okay, now play. It's kind of okay. What if I added it the other direction as well? Just duplicate it and then just rotate it 90. And then just scooch it over. Let's flatten it down, save it. If anybody knows why sometimes Photoshop refuses to it wants to save it as a PSD when it used to be just a flat ping file, even after I've merged everything, I'd love to know. That's kind of okay-ish. Let's undo that. Let's go here. Let's add some darkness. Just to kind of sell again the fact that there is some separation, like height variation at least. Maybe not worry so much about the directionality of the light, but who knows. Okay, maybe add a little bit there. Let's go back to my dither brush. Just do a quick and dirty little dither pass around the edges. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay. And let's see if that looks any better. Ping. Yep. Play. A little bit better. And I'm wondering if maybe it's kind of working that way, but also maybe on here too. Maybe push this farther back into the. Maybe make this a little bit darker. I also imply that this shadows this because the way it's just the way that it is lined up there. What if I got rid of the repeating? What if this was just what if that just went forever? What would that look like? I know some games like Doom and Quake just have these kind of unending trim pieces, so maybe that will look okay. Again, just kind of playing with shapes and colors and see what comes out. So let's do that. And there, there. Cool. Clean that up. Okay, let's add the div there. Real quick, let's just grab these. Maybe make lots of these because rivets are cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Control J. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Control J. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That may work. There might be too much room in between there. Let me merge that down. Control J. Yeah, it's not gonna line up okay, but let's just see what it looks like let's just see what it looks like. Control E, save as ping textures. Yep, let's do it. And then boom. It's all right. I like that it's just like one long thing. It's kind of cool. It almost makes me wish for a top trim, but that's just that makes it harder to work with. Like I could do something like I could reverse. No, man, I could reverse them. Let me just see what that looks like. Okay, I think my family just got home, so I'm gonna see what this looks like, and then I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream just to give you folks a heads up. So let's make the upper wall this, and then the lower wall that. So let's invert it and see what how that feels. And then I can also select the ceiling, and then just nudge it down to make it line up nicely on the grid here. And play. Well, that kind of looks cool. Yeah, I mean the top part looks nice, but I like the just the line it creates with this trim at your eye level. I think that makes more sense. Even though that does look nice when it's butted up against there. You can't have everything. It's fine. Undo, 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 undo. Play. Yeah, I think the ceiling works out okay. Again, it doesn't need to be super interesting. It does check the is it dark box. No, I think it makes more sense for it to be framed up around the edges rather than the middle. I see what you're saying though. I think you can go either way. I don't think there's really a right or wrong way to do it. I think it's just personal preference. Yeah, no, I think this is okay. I think it's not maybe it has a little bit too much detail in it. Maybe I can pull that crack out. Maybe that will you'll see less of the repetition that way. Poor kiddo. All right, let me save, and then I'll be done after this. Yeah, I think it's better. Trying to have less unique stuff in the rock makes it work better. And maybe pull some of those highlights out too, so it's not as pronounced. But I think I can live with this ceiling. I think it's okay. Again, you're not going to spend a lot of time looking at it, so as long as it's not like in the way, I think it's better. Cool. All right, folks. So I think I'm gonna call it a day so I can hang out with my family. I think we've had a good productive stream. Got a new little feature snuck in there. Made more progress towards the new textures, which is cool. What else have we done? Talked a little bit about Delver, previewed some community mods. I just want to thank everybody for their support. If you bought in Delver, that directly financially supports me and Chad, which is a cool thing to do. We appreciate it. Also, showing up on the stream every week is very helpful. It motivates me. I look forward to every Sunday hanging out with you and talking game dev. It's one of my favorite things. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Skelly. You can follow Delver at Delver Game. Delver Game has a Facebook page, Delver Game Official. We do a mod Mondays, but I forgot last Monday. I apologize. I think today I'm just going to queue up a bunch of mods and just let like the next like 2 or 3 just be queued. But I do want to use the Facebook page as a way to highlight cool community content. So look for more stuff there. I think that's it. I think I got everything. Again, thanks everybody. Thanks for the new people showing up. Thank you for the old people returning. And I think my contract work is done, so I may be able to sneak in a bonus stream this week. So if you folks are interested in that, let me know. But I might do a bonus stream sometime throughout the week, probably in the middle of the day, because that's basically when I work. So all right, everybody, take care. Have a good week.